Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the most viral and honestly emotionally charged controversies hitting the tech world right now. We're talking about Anthropic's massive industrial scale digital data pipeline. So, recently, there has been an absolute uproar across social media, with people claiming that this leading AI company is systematically destroying millions of physical books just to feed its models. But, this isn't really just a story about books. It's about the entire future of how information is processed and ultimately who owns it. And as you'll see, the actual truth of what's happening and why it's happening is highly bureaucratic, incredibly complex, and honestly, way more fascinating than the viral rumors. Fahrenheit 451, but with lawyers this time. I mean, that is an incredibly powerful thought, isn't it? As a society, we naturally have this deeply ingrained, visceral reaction to the mere idea of destroying books. It just feels inherently wrong, kind of apocalyptic even. When people hear an AI company is buying up millions of books just to destroy them, the immediate picture that jumps into our heads is this giant dystopian bonfire of human history. Well, today, we're going to unpack the exact mechanisms of this operation to see what is really going on behind closed doors. So let's get into Section 1, the book destruction outrage. Now, to really understand this controversy, we first have to look at where it even came from. This story was originally broken by the investigative team over at 404 Media, but it really caught fire on Twitter, largely thanks to a user named Hedgie. And man, this story absolutely exploded, reaching 21 million views almost overnight, because people were basically panicking over an AI lab tearing apart our cultural heritage. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole issue. The viral myth claims that unique cultural treasures like priceless Gutenberg Bibles or ancient vellum manuscripts are being thrown into a furnace so a chatbot can learn to talk. But the bureaucratic reality? It's entirely different. Court records actually show that Anthropic is buying used and honestly completely obsolete texts. We are talking about things like Microsoft Access 95 user manuals, old telephone directories, random outdated pamphlets. They're pulping the mundane, everyday stuff that was, let's be real, likely headed straight for a landfill anyway. Which brings us to Section 2, inside the data pipeline. So, if they aren't out there burning rare historical artifacts, what exactly are they doing? It all comes down to an internal initiative that's widely referred to as Project Panama. Over the last few months, secondhand bookstores started noticing these absolutely bizarre, massive bulk orders. Someone was ordering huge batches of books, sometimes like 3,000 titles at a single time, across completely bizarrely unrelated subjects. Imagine a box showing up with geomechanics mixed with Irish folklore, sitting right next to advanced ceramics. It was eventually revealed that third-party data brokers, like a company called ISBN-DB, are openly pitching these services to AI labs. They're securing these massive 50,000 book orders from places like Facebook Marketplace or wholesale sellers, acting as a direct supplier of physical pages for AI ingestion. The process they use to actually extract the text from these books is exactly what led to this quote right here, a slaughterhouse for books. I want you to consider the horrific but honestly utterly efficient reality of this process. Anthropic isn't doing this manually by hand. They are paying third-party service providers millions of dollars to execute a ruthless, high-volume industrial operation designed to harvest human language as quickly as humanly or mechanically possible. Let's move to and see how this builds step by step. Project Panama executes this harvesting in 4 distinct, highly efficient steps. Step 1, buy used books in massive bulk. Step 2, and this is the crazy part, literally chop the bindings and spines completely off the books. Why? Because from a purely economic standpoint, loose individual pages can be run through a high-speed production scanner way faster and far more accurately than trying to carefully flip the pages of a bound volume. Efficiency absolutely overrides preservation here. And that brings us to Step 3, scan every single severed page to create a digital text file. And finally, Step 4, discard and destroy the original paper. It is highly destructive, absolutely, but from a strict data gathering perspective, it's incredibly efficient. Let's move on to Section 3, AI's clean data problem. Okay, so you've got to be wondering, why go through all this effort? Why do incredibly advanced AI models like Anthropic's Claude need to physically consume old paper books in the first place? Shouldn't a super smart AI just learn from the internet? Well, here's the issue. The AI food supply is actively being poisoned by synthetic data. Because platforms like Claude and ChatGPT have become so unbelievably successful, the public internet is now absolutely flooded with AI-generated text. Blogs, social media, websites, so much of it is now written by machines. If you've ever noticed a chatbot getting repetitive or losing its edge, this is exactly why. If AI companies just scrape the internet today, their future models risk training on their own regurgitated output, creating this endless loop that just degrades the whole system. They desperately need clean, human-written text. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the hard line drawn right at the year 2022. That was the year generative AI became widespread. So basically, anything published before 2022 is guaranteed to be clean, structured, long-form human thought. It contains deep, specialist information that hasn't been polluted by chatbots yet. That makes these older physical books, which, by the way, often haven't been widely digitized on the internet, incredibly valuable assets to AI companies right now. Okay, so let's dive into Section 4, the fair use loophole. Now, you might be thinking, okay, they scan them, but why not just donate the physical books afterward? To understand the destruction part, we have to look at what these companies used to do. Previously, a lot of AI labs would just, well, download millions of digital books from pirated websites like Anna's Archive. It was super easy, super fast, and totally digital. But it was also massive copyright infringement. Authors and publishers rightly fought back, and this whole strategy blew up in the AI companies' faces, landing them in incredibly hot legal water. So the crucial point is this massive number right here, $1.5 billion. That is the huge copyright settlement that Anthropic recently agreed to pay to various authors and publishers as a direct result of those past training methods. Piracy is just no longer an option for them. The legal risk is simply too astronomical. They had to immediately pivot to purchasing physical books legally, but they still needed a way to digitize them without triggering another massive billion-dollar lawsuit. And that brings us to the concept of transformative fair use. We're going to unpack this impartially because honestly, it is a fascinating legal loophole. Think about it. If you buy a physical book, scan it, and then keep the physical book or give it away to a library, you now essentially have two copies, one physical, one digital. Legally speaking, that's making an unauthorized reproduction. However, if you purchase that physical book, digitize it into one private file, and then completely destroy the original physical book, judges often view this as a quintessentially transformative act. One legal physical copy became one legal digital copy, nothing multiplied. So completely destroying the book is exactly what makes the data extraction legally sound and protects the company under fair use laws. But there is a major catch here. This vast new digital database must remain locked away in a private research library forever. Anthropic cannot legally share this incredible new digital library of Alexandria with the public. If they were to open it up or redistribute the scans to us, they would immediately be guilty of republishing copyrighted material. So they basically have no choice but to force all this incredibly clean, highly valuable human data to remain strictly inside a closed private repository, where it will only ever be read by the AI machine. And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, the real dystopian twist. We've separated the social media myth from the bureaucratic reality today, but we really still have to address the actual philosophical concern that's sitting right beneath the surface of all this outrage online. Consider this wild juxtaposition. In Fahrenheit 451, society destroys books because human knowledge is deemed dangerous and has to be suppressed, right? But in our current AI reality, Anthropic is destroying them because the knowledge contained inside is incredibly, incalculably valuable. In a weird and honestly somewhat unsettling way, the artificial intelligence machine actually values our obscure human knowledge more than we do. I mean, it values it enough to spend millions of dollars to absorb it before it disappears completely. Now, while this whole process isn't strictly illegal, it certainly isn't nothing either. There is a very legitimate concern out there that obscure, out-of-print editions could literally disappear entirely from circulation because they're all being bought up and pulped. That's exactly why experts are suggesting 3 reasonable guardrails here. 1, AI companies absolutely should maintain auditable records of exactly what training material they are consuming. 2, rights holders must be legally compensated whenever that's applicable. And 3, whenever public domain or culturally important scans are created, they should eventually be deposited into trusted, secure archives, like the Library of Congress, for instance. These guardrails are practically the only things that could keep our shared, obscure human history from disappearing into private servers forever. Ultimately, Anthropic's digital data pipeline is a masterpiece of technical and legal engineering. It's perfectly designed to feed the most advanced systems on the planet. But as the physical pages of our past are sliced, scanned, and discarded just to build the digital minds of our future, we really have to ask ourselves, who actually owns that knowledge in the end? What really happens to us when our shared cultural history gets locked away in a private AI library forever?